Nigerian when we want to discuss the national issue instead of individual issue. So if we looked at the clause 4 and 5, which has been said earlier on, we're talking about the waterways, and we have roads that we call Trunk A road, which is federal government road, which obviously each and every one of us here, our state is in need of some of this dilapidated road to be constructed. And if Trunk A roads are specified federal government roads, and if we looked at clause 4 of that, that's made mention of, I think on page 6, ensure that the water resources of the nations are protected, used, developed, conserved, managed, and controlled in a sustainable and equitable manner for the benefit of all persons and in accordance with the constitutional mandate. So I don't see why we will have this issue about a small river in a state that has to pass through another river in another state, and we're thinking that the federal government wants to take over. If we looked at that clause 4, it has specified it, and even the clause 5, which states the word may, we might change it to shall, make provision for the management, control, use and control of water resources occurring solely within, sir, the boundaries of the state, but shall be guided by the policies and principles of the federal government in relation to integrated water resources management. And I think, sir, if we've looked at it all now, it has covered the fears of whatever one I was saying. But to us, it's that federal governments have a responsibility for its citizens, and I think this is one of those things. They are managing Trunk A road, sir. They are, sir. They are, sir. Please.
In most of the areas with small rivers and creeks has led to a situation whereby they are now trying to expand.
Support the line of argument of the minority leader for the first time. And the reason is not too far-fetched. In Lagos right now, we are in court with NIWA based on our waterways. These are creeks sometimes that should be left to the state government to control. But what you find is that NIWA has extended its federal might in so many ways in controlling the navigation and all other things that you need to get before you can apply or do anything in all those areas. So there will be need for us to identify the rivers that belong to the federal government as well as the state if we want to avoid any problem. I thank you, sir.
Chairman. They said states may make provisions. No. Forget, we can put the shall if we want. States may make provisions for the management and use and the control of water resources occurring solely within the boundaries of the state, but shall be guided by the policy and the principles of the federal government in relation to integrated water resources management and the bill. You see, the whole idea here is that the federal government is the custodian of all the water resources in the country. But of course, if it is within your own area, you can use it. But of course, you'll be guided. Huh? Is federal government not owning you?
Already from the word go, these bills are sound controversial. And I want you to use your leadership quality and style to let us take our time before going forward to pass this bill. Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, I also have my reservation concerning this clause which we are currently considering. In relation with the submission of Senator Ashafa and our current experience in the hands of the Nigerian Inland Waterways in Lagos. As we speak, we are currently at the Court of Appeal concerning our right over our waterways in Lagos. Mr. President, we are talking about small rivers. We should not condemn it because these rivers means a lot to this state and even to this host community. And at this point in time, I believe we can set up a committee to go ahead and look into the nitty-gritty of this bill in line with the Constitution and the existing act which we have in hand, so that we compare these two, so that we can be in unison while we consider this bill. We have done it in the past in these chambers. We should also use this medium to address all the inadequacies or controversial issues that this bill contains, so that together we can pass this bill and everybody can be happy going forward. That's my submission, Mr. President.
And we realize that the importance of such law is superior to existing laws. We do, by compelling reason, amend other laws to suit it. This bill, this water law, is so important for this nation that we need to do whatever is possible to ensure that it functions. Today, people don't realize that a liter of water is more expensive than a liter of petrol. And so it is with most other resources. So we must guide our water resources very jealously, something we have not been doing at all, because we take for granted that water is everywhere and it rains everywhere. But safe water is not an easy thing. So while agreeing with him, I think we can go ahead and pass this law and do the necessary amendment of the ecological law to suit it. Thank you, sir.
Say that this is a very straightforward bill. It's a bill that we have been waiting for quite a long time. I happen to be a member of the committee that worked seriously and diligently on this bill, and even the World Bank is waiting for the passage of this bill so that they can bring in money to improve the irrigation facilities in Nigeria. Right now, we have well over $1.5 billion that is waiting to be utilized, and I urge my colleagues to support this bill so that the water sector in this country can be regulated properly, and the passage of this bill will also make it possible for private sector to come in and improve on the irrigation facilities. So this is a very straightforward bill. It has already gone through the second reading. I will urge my colleagues to allow the chamber to consider, third reading of this bill. Thank you.
The remarks made by Senator Alero, and Mr. President, I haven't seen actually contentious issues in the bill, and it's one key sector that we need to work upon to bring or put smiles on the faces of Nigerians. I want to add in this way that we should expedite passage of this bill. Thank you.
Let me take money from the ecological fund, because what this means is we have to amend the ecological fund itself. Otherwise, they cannot afford to give money without an amendment that clearly stipulates that 2% should be given to this. That's the implication.
Despite I agree my own eagerness and enthusiasm to pass it quickly, I think it's important that we carry everybody along. If we agree, we can look at the chairman of water and the vice chairman, chairman of judiciary and the vice chairman, and the director of legal, that most times they go back and look at this, especially if there are constitutional issues. Let's give them just maximum 1 week. By next week, straight after Wednesday, the 30th, they come back to us. If there's anything, two things I would like them to look at. The suggestion by Senator Binta Masi, looking at section 5, that if you change that state to shall make provision, does that satisfy those that have concerns of powers of the states and then be able to move forward? Or do we really believe that these issues truly trample on the rights of the states. I don't think there's something that should take more than a week to resolve, and then they come back to us. If we agree, we can move on, and then we take their report. Chairman Water, the Vice Chairman Water, Chairman Judiciary Vice Chairman, Senator Kemade, and in particularly bring in the Director Legal, and we give them between now and Wednesday, and Clerk, please slate it on the other paper for Wednesday for consideration along with this. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Consider the report of the Committee on Water Resources on the National Water Resources Establishment, etc. Bill 2018. The bill is referred back to the Chairman and Vice Chairman of Committees on Water Resources and Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Director of Legal Services, and Senator Gemade for further legislative action to report back on Wednesday, 30th of May, 2018. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Leader of the Senate.